Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Brightworks and another match of Beyond All Reason. Thanks a ton, everybody, for all your feedback that you've given me about this new controller setup. There's a whole bunch of stuff, a whole bunch of notes that I took into account, and I'm going to try and apply some changes here today. So, spawning as our blue team leader, the pirate of the seas, the well-known drunken sailor, none other than Vanaja himself. He won't win this, we'll try to hold. Cries out the maroon commander. Ozlek's going to be playing against him here. On the other side of the map, playing as the red team leader, Tom1286. So about this camera control, I'm a little bit of a mixed bag position here because everyone seemed to agree that it was beautiful. There was a lot of really cinematographic shots you can do, some really beautiful stuff. But I understand, and I certainly felt the effects watching back later, that it was a little bit nauseating. Yeah, there was certainly, especially the spinning motions, those tended to be a little bit nauseating, it seemed like. So I'm going to be experimenting with it, but suffice it to say, we'll jump in and out of this control mode throughout the cast here. But why don't we head right on into our regular HOV. Hold on, there we go. Default view. Today's match, thrown off a little bit by explaining the camera controls things, but today's match going to be played on Red River Estuary, and there was a good reason why I wanted to check out this match, of course, and that was because I want to learn the build order from Vanaja here. So already what we've gone into, double metal extractor, into a lab, into some energy and whatnot, and really this is what I wanted to learn first and foremost. So we go for a construction boat. That's gonna zip off to try and capture as many metal extractors as possible. Then we're gonna start spamming out gunboats here, making sure to increase energy production as we go up the ladder. We're going all the way up to, looks like 6 tidal generators right now, maybe 7. That's 23 tidal speed per generator, is quite impressive. What is the golden number that Vanaja is looking for right now? Right now at 232, maybe just trying to get it up to the point where you could spam out boats per second here, but it seems like this is a pretty comfortable pace, and we've just done nothing but gunboats for this entire time. All right, 5 gunboats. And then eventually we get a herring out on the field, and then we're gonna add some more constructors. Okay, good to see, good to see. Very aggressive, and surprisingly, not very low on metal yet. Yeah. Oh, I see why. Oh, I see why. Well, I didn't realize this in the game file or in the game logs or whatever, but you might notice that over on the left-hand side, it shows 4 metal per second coming out of this metal extractor, when on the map it really is only 2. So that must mean that the metal extraction, or the overall metal conversion was 2x. Is this 28? 28, yeah, so the energy is buffed as well a little bit. Interesting. The overall resource multiplier has been enabled, or at the very least, the energy and metal have been reworked ever so slightly. So maybe this isn't a great match to showcase exactly how to go for Navy builds, but maybe this is just a accelerated Navy build. Maybe we could just call it that. Herring's in a little bit of trouble right now. Gunboats from Ozlex do get a nice little engagement right here. Yeah, very nice. Ooh, okay, all of them do go down. But all the gunboats go down as well. This is something that I've learned is dangerous. Throwing away all your gunboats like that doesn't feel like you lose all too much, but realistically, each of those is 100 metal apiece. Can definitely start to be extremely costly. At this point, Vanaja has got some build power up and running and is going into more and more tidal speeds, going up to 400 energy per second, and that seems like a comfortable place to be. The gunboats, the missile boats, and the frigates all seem to take about 500 energy per second when you have just a little bit of build power like this. Seems like that's a comfortable spot to be. Vanaja using the frigates to get up in that destroyer's face. They will take it down. And already the first couple of fights have looked phenomenal right here for the blue team leader. Elsewhere on the map here, Hidden Shield has gotten into a little bit of a scuffle. We're just putting up some LLTs on the front line. Green units are marching forward as well to try and contest these river pathways. Membrane, the brown commander, as well as Sonata Bird, the orange commander, both trying to fight for the central section. Oh, this is interesting. Bobtree has instead decided not to go for any more land-based units. So this lab has still been running, but its only purpose is to pump out constructors at this point, because we've gone into a bunch of ships. Yeah, so destroyers are going to be great. I mean, they can shell away from miles and miles, whittling down those units right there. Sonata Bird, essentially with no alternative option to try and clean all that up. I like it quite a bit. Destroyers firing away in the background. Not really doing all too much, though. We do have res subs coming up as well. They're going to start picking a lot of this up. Because the metal is so overwhelmingly boosted right now, I have a feeling the idea here is more so to produce more units, produce everything since it's all cheaper, rather than wasting time resurrecting things and repairing things. Cheaper to replace it than to repair it. We've got the American economic structure set up right here for Vanaja in the seas. Just gonna start spamming out as many boats as possible using all that juicy reclaim right here that these lovely res subs are going to eat up quite nicely. Yeah, these destroyers are such a good threat. It's rare that you get a map where the naval units can play around with the land units, but this is certainly one excellent example of where it's almost necessary. Oftentimes we'll see commanders rush to this spot as well, which is also deep enough that you can build a naval lab and then start pumping out units over here. Massive run by on the northern side. Oh, we have Legion enabled too. Splendid. Legion enabled as well. Oh man, more and more lobbies I'm finding have Legion enabled. That's so cool to see. I wonder if this might have been the lobby that was left over after the... Yeah, left over after the live stream ended. Could very well have been. I recognize a lot of familiar faces is why I say that. Settings also look roughly similar, although usually we don't mess with the metal extraction. Front run by happening right here. Up against the Seafoam Green Commander Hidden Shield. No, sorry, Hidden Shahid? Something like that. I mean, grunts kill some solar panels and a metal extractor, all things that can be cheaply replaced. And at this point, probably want to be replaced. Advanced solar collectors, all that sort of stuff. Remember that this is double metal extraction, which means that essentially every part of this game can be halved, right? All the timings can be halved. So we should see T2 units on the field already. We already have Striders for the Red Commander going to be making their way down south. We should see T2 labs and whatnot coming up here fairly shortly on the southern side. Yeah, we have a T2 lab for the Purple Commander. All of this should be escalated by 2x, right? Hidden Shield in a lot of trouble right now. Commander pops. Ooh, nice little watery explosion right there. Commander goes down. This is really where I want to keep my eyes, though. At this point, the snowball has already hit its peak. You can see, once a couple of those destroyers come out, there's really not a lot you can do to contest it because every volley just takes down a boat on its own. That efficiency peak becomes incredibly, incredibly difficult to deal with. Couple of damaged boats over here. Vanaja, happy to reclaim a whole bunch of this and just send more ships to the front. We're just going for mass destroyer at this point. 4 destroyers, 1 herring, 2 riptides. Destroyer running in willy-nilly. Definitely not going to be able to contest this. Boats right now, continuing to be such a nuisance. Ah, I love this play right here from Bobtree. Yeah, the investment into the boats was such a good move. The destroyers have so much range and so much HP for a T1 unit. Up against tanks or bots, they're gonna kill. And we switch into our free cam mode. There we go. Okay, take a little look at this battle. Grab some cool screenshots, move my mouse off the screen. Watch these destroyers going to work. You can also pull up the minimap like this, which is a feature that I love, by the way. This is actually great. We can see the whole match laid out in full. Strider defending the beaches over here on the northern side. That was another tip that a lot of people suggested. Trying to keep the match oriented, right? Keep the north side north, keep the west or the east side east, west side west, all that sort of stuff. I think it's a great idea. Yeah, I definitely lost track somewhere on one of those other matches. We were sitting there, wondering where in the map this attack was coming from. On some side of some team. Not exactly a professional commentator moment right there, but it works. Excellently done. Lasers actually having no effect on units in the water, which is a bit strange. One of the ways that tanks can be extremely efficient is actually if they're underwater. If we zoom back out over here, I see this snowball is continuing to fire away. Get down in here. Enjoy these destroyers, blasting away at the wind turbines, advanced metal extractors, bot labs, all the rest of it. None of it's going to stand up here against those T1 battleships. There's a fiend, trying desperately. Can't really fire in the water. And even its firepower, not really going to be enough to shut these boats down. Oh, commander moving into position. Oh, commander's in position. I think we smell it. Yeah, I think we definitely smell that commander moving towards these boats. If we had a... Oh, careful now. These boats move a step too close and that commander's in huge danger. Commander just died off screen, by the way. Vanaja's navy going around hunting commanders all over the place. Already the naval field has been well cleared over here. Excellently done. Now it's only a matter of time to sweep northward. Maybe unsurprising that Vanaja has swept across the seas, but definitely interesting to see how it's done. Commander explosion over there. Advanced solar panels. The target of these ships. T2 Lab has already fallen. And the contest has become very close. Yellow tanks in the base over here of the Seafoam Green Commander. Are the tanks going to be enough? I mean, there's really not enough damage they can do. No matter how much they kill, there's already a massive army of T2 Hounds ready to reinforce all of this. Yeah, those Hounds have built up to critical numbers. Very, very quick game here. With the metal turned up so high. An extremely fast game. Ornithopters headed out right now. For legal reasons, they're not called that, but we all know that that's what they are. The Dune Cinematic Universe having a crossover right here. These little flippy flappies flutter their way across the battlefield, deploying their very light air-to-ground missile. That's right. They're a gunship. They're a T1 gunship. Is what the ooh, I don't know their name actually. It's what those gunships are called. The Legion T1 gunships. Strider's trying to jump on top of the boats right here, and for what it's worth, catching some of them. Finding the commander is probably a little more important here. Yep, Strider's running in, twin miniguns firing away. There's Centurion chassis, perfectly sized to mount on those miniature Marauder legs. A little bit of miss micro right here. Yeah, losing APM. Boats devastating the coastline here. This must have been before the update. The T1 plasma bot. Oh gosh, what is it called? Well, the Legion T1 plasma bot, the light plasma bot, has actually had a remodel. We just checked it out live on stream today. It was a lot of fun. There was also a bunch of new medium tanks, medium and heavy tanks. Very, very cool too. Love watching those models change over time, see how they go. The quick shot got reworked ever so slightly. Bunch of changes to Legion. Definitely feels like we're moving in an excellent direction here. Just like the blue team, I would say. It was now captured the vast majority of this map. We go out on high, we can see basically the whole thing. Contested by blue here. Few red remain on this map. Are there any desperate throws that we're going to go for in order to try and clutch this one? The red team leader looking for options. You have a couple of arquebuses coming out now. I think the plan is to use these for coastal defense. Try and fire away from long range, though. I don't think the arquebuses outrange the destroyers, though. So even with, I think they're still going to have a really hard time dealing with this Navy pushing forward. I will say, the Navy can't really go on land, huh? It's got one strict limitation, and that's the fact that it can't really go on land. All these boats are useless to within about a couple hundred range of the shoreline here. I do see a capital ship on the minimap there. Down on the southern side, the trail of that boat is enormous. And the scope of seeing one of those on your shore, I guess, carries the same weight. The reason why it deserves such a large logo. Massive wreckage field here. Strider's trying to take down these destroyers, having a hard time of it. Vanaja, are you perchance related to Popeye the Sailor? Very well may be. Vanaja had plenty of spinach. Oh, instead it's booze. A lot of people have asked me to enable the chats again, by the way, so I've started turning those on just because they are pretty funny. But yeah, the blue team heavily crushing the competition here. Definitely in control of this match from start to finish. An excellent look at what a winning attitude looks like. Having fun, Smiles all around. GG's afterwards. It's good stuff. Sharpshooter's trying to find some value here. They're getting dangerously close to everything. Arquebus firing away as well. They're sort of a sharpshooter adjacent unit. Single big burst of damage, but not necessarily as long of a recharge as the sharpshooters are. Not necessarily as big a burst of damage either. The anti-air on them is quite useful though. Particularly very good for dealing with things like dragons, that's the word. There's the Legion aircraft too, I forget what that's called, the Tyrannus, I want to say. Whole new set of units means a whole new set of names for you to memorize. Learn my lesson though, not to memorize them completely, not to sit down and memorize them until they're finalized. I've still got the old Legion names memorized right now, and I'm gonna have to go unlearn all those and relearn all the new ones. It's helpful though that they look like completely new units, so at least I can just pretend like I'm memorizing a new roster. It helps somewhat. Shotgunners here to try and defend. And for what it's worth, the shotgunners are extremely powerful. Their, well, shotgun is torn off the side of a juggernaut. And it does serious damage. Their shield also blocks damage, and they do recharge those ever so slightly, by the way. It's a fun fact of the day about the any Legion unit that uses a shield, actually. They're all rechargeable. The shield will reappear after a set number of time. I believe it's a couple seconds, like 20 seconds or something. Labs are falling, and the red team finally yields under the weight of the blue. Excellently played here by all teams all around. Love to watch it happen. Definitely unsurprising to see Vanaja tearing it up in the sea, but always a treat to watch. Sure hope you guys enjoyed, and as always, I would be happy to have more feedback about these camera controls. Definitely trying to get used to them, because I definitely think there's some opportunity here for, you know, a unique experience. And I guess we're going back to lobby after replays now. This happened on another one too. Anyways, thanks a ton, everybody, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.